Hello everyone, welcome to That Bible Guy. I just want to give you a fundraiser update where I'm at currently, where I need to get to, what my plans and dreams and prayers are. But before I do a little update with you, I just wanted to tell you something. For those who think that Christianity is waning and weakening, and it always seems that way in the Western world as consumerism has grown. And you would think, if you read the newspapers and watch the news, that that's the reality. I want to tell us something today as sort of an encouragement and sort of a driver, if you like, behind my fundraiser as well. We are living at a point in world history of unprecedented growth of the Christian church. The Christian movement, which started with Jesus in Acts, we see him, he left the earth and he called his disciples to go and preach the word everywhere. Since that point in history, in world history, if you're a Christian, you're the part of the greatest movement in the history of mankind. It was said by Kenneth Scott Laureate, he's a Yale church historian. He said it really well. He said the most thought-provoking set of facts in human history is that in spite of seemingly absurdly inauspicious start, within 5 centuries, Christianity won the professed allegiance of the overwhelming majority of the Greco-Roman world, that it survived the demise of that world, and that within 19 centuries, it penetrated to practically every corner of the inhabited globe and became a molding force in every great cultural area of mankind. This is what Christianity has done. This is what it survived. And just some of the facts to take in what I'm trying to say here. The 25 years following World War II were characterized as unbelievable growth in Christianity, but even more so in the last quarter of the 20th century. It said never before in history has such a high percentage of the world's population been exposed to the gospel, nor the increase of evangelical Christians has ever been so encouraging. The increase in percentages, just to get some of the facts here, of evangelical Christians in the third world has been spectacular. In the 25 years from 1975 to 2000, the number of evangelicals in the third world grew from 68 million, take this in, to 300 million. That's an increase of 6.7% annually, well over twice the rate of the population growth. In Latin America, for example, 5% of the population was evangelical in 1970. Today, over 10% of the population is evangelical Christian, with the highest percentages being in Chile, 17%. In Africa, about 7% of the population was evangelical in 1970. Today, it's over 14%, thus more than doubling in 30 years. In Asia, the most dramatic advances of the gospel have occurred in the last quarter of the 20th century. In the 10 years following 1975, the number of Protestants in Asia increased by nearly 10% per year. That's compared with the population increase, only 1.7%. In 1987, the evangelicals in Asia surpassed the number of evangelicals in North America, and in 1991, the number of evangelicals in Asia surpassed the number of evangelicals in the entire Western world. It then goes on to talk. I've got a great article up. William Lane Craig with Reasonable Faith goes on to talk about the growth of Christianity throughout almost the entire known world. But if you happen to live in the Western world, you're just getting a little tiny picture of what's actually happening in the world at large. I'm currently reading Acts at the moment, where Paul has just landed in Rome in Acts 28, as God promised him he would do. Christianity is on the increase. We've got 1.5 billion Christians, people who call themselves Christians in the known world, almost a third of the world's population, dwarfing any other movement that exists. We are part of the greatest movement in the history of mankind, and sometimes it's good to step back and take a look at the big picture. I was so encouraged when I read this. Read that article, check it out, Reasonable Faith, on the growth of the Christian church. It's absolutely phenomenal, and this is statistics. This is not just what we want it to be. This is true facts. Where I'm at the moment, my fundraiser, I thank you so much. I am currently at £1,800, halfway through the month, and I'm aiming for 2.5. I'm currently on almost 5 months, so hopefully from October or November, please pray with me, I'll be able to get 5 months of 3 days, a second ministry day. So I've 1 day at the moment, but getting that second ministry day. Last week, I counted the cost, did a study with someone, Samila he's called. He got baptized in the Irish Sea last weekend down at Helens Bay, which was an incredible moment. And that's exactly what I'm doing this for. moments just like that. So I don't want to go on too long here, but I hope that encourages. And if you want to give to the fundraiser, which will be finishing in a couple more weeks, you can see the link below. Thanks so much for all your support, and I'll be back with you again very soon.